Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That is, with God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. We say Bismillah all day long with God's mercy and His blessings. He has given us benefit more than we get from our 401k or 403k or whatever it may be. His benefits are so elaborate. And we say He is the merciful benefactor. Mercy. This is the unconditional love that mothers give their children. So we say this. We open this statement when we begin our prayer, when we begin anything significant that we're about to do that's going to help in the way of helping our community. So we're here today on another broadcast, another show of Al-Islam in Focus. We intend to share with you information about our fundraiser that's coming up on the 28th, which is next Sunday, the 28th, at Siena College. And we're here today. Imam Zaki Abdul Hamid is here with me today, and we're going to be speaking about this Iftar fundraiser that's scheduled for the 28th of May, next week. And our keynote speaker is Imam Abdul Malik. And he has a special itinerary in his bio that allows for him to have the credentials to be able to share with the audience that's going to be there and those that's going to hear it via satellite and any other way or means of how we are raising $100,000 for the purpose of establishing ourselves on the south side of Albany in the Capital District of two properties. One, 90%, we've paid for 90% of the property already, and we begin to renovate. And the other property we intend to establish for our Islamic service, which is called Jummah, congregational prayer, that we would like to start immediately after the fundraiser next week to complete the renovations by the end of Ramadan. Ramadan is scheduled to start next week, either the first day on Saturday or the second day or the first day on Sunday, which is by the lunar calendar. So we all are really excited and really enthused about what we're doing. And always we want to greet you in our traditional customary language of As-salam alaikum. And that is, may God's peace and blessings be upon you and yours and who you represent. And so today, me and Imam Zaki Abdul Hamid are here today again to share with you some information that we feel is very vital and important about the religion of Al-Islam and about our fundraiser that we intend to have to do certain things in the community that are essential and necessary. And those things are the highlight of the theme for the fundraiser, which are revitalizing our inner cities, community service, civic engagement, and interfaith collaboration. That is the theme, and that is our goal and objective, and why we're establishing ourselves here on the south side, but for all of Albany. And I would like now to allow for our Imam to share with you his thoughts on how he believes Al-Islam in Focus is working, because he's been getting a lot of responses from many of you in the audience. Imam?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. Just want to let our viewer and audience know that we are excited and very pleased with the expected arrival of our Imam Abdul Malik here at Siena College on the 28th of this month. We want you to know that he's a very gifted, wonderful speaker. And as a matter of fact, if you want, you can even see him on YouTube. Just type in Imam Abdul Malik and you see the different topics that he goes into that hits right at the core of so many of our problems. And just very quickly, just touching on one of his topics, revitalizing our inner cities. And I always like to give the spiritual aspects first, because that's where problems start from. He's going to talk about the moral decline of values in America, especially among all of our youth. And your participation, your donations will help us set up programs, as Imam Abdul Qadir told you, in which we expect to reach the next generation of our youth. We have to understand that in order to revitalize our inner cities, we have to know, how does it start? You are what you think. Our bodies are nothing but our servants. So if you have nasty thoughts, you're going to carry out nasty deeds with the servants of your body who's following those thoughts. If you have clean thoughts, then you'll start generating clean deeds in our communities. If you have criminal thoughts, which I think everyone knows, it leads to criminal deeds. So Islam keeps us on a very steady balance. No matter how much the styles and the trends change, because it's always in a state of flux, Islam tells us that there's one thing in our life that should never change, and that is our dedication to moral excellence, which stays steady, and the fact that we should always fight against the dirty, the nasty that brings down ourselves, our families, our neighborhoods, and our communities. So that's something that we're very excited on listening to. We want to give you just a taste of what you expect once you come out on the 28th. Imam Qadir.
Excellent. So Imam, he hit on the subject of moral excellence, and we believe this is the key to success. The key to success is consistency. If we are consistent in producing what our nature says to us, our nature constantly reminds us all the time, whenever we go wrong, we should follow our gut. Our gut tells us if you want to listen to a lie and entertain a lie, our nature tells us don't go there. Stay away from it. If we don't stay away from it, you deserve the consequences. Our nature tells us if there's no trust, it's going to turn to rust. And if there's no trust between us, it will turn to rust. It'll be stained. And our nature reminds and tells us this. Imam Abdul Malik is going to be coming and sharing information with us, and we believe he's credentialized primarily because he's sought after by ICNA, the Islamic Circle of North America, ISNA, the Islamic Society of North America, MAS, the Muslim American Society. They want him to come to speak to them about issues and concerns similar to Imam Siraj Wahaj and other Muslims that come and speak to them about concerns because of his upbringing in America and how America has treated those that were brought to America back during slavery. He shares information from the Quran and the life of the Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, on how we can resolve these issues if we have what is necessary in our understanding of how to go about being sincere and honest and dedicated and moral. And so Imam Zaki just mentioned that this effort in pursuing what is necessary for us to have revitalization of inner city life, it has to start there. And our young people, many of them, too many of them, are going contrary to the nature that they have, and reasons being because they're not doing well in school. The attraction of drug life, thug life, a life that's been glorified, a life that seems better than the natural life that they want to get involved with is attracting them. And the next thing you know, they get bit. Bit meaning what? Meaning they get a taste of a life that they never had before of smoking, drinking, and doing all the things that will cause them to lose the ability to control their faculties. So we're looking forward in the future, both Imam and myself, to speak about this broad issue, which is so broad, is so dynamic, of forgiveness. How you should forgive. Can you forgive? You're never going to forget. And when we say forgiveness, all the things that you should forgive a person for what they might have done to you in life that caused you to have this traumatized situation in your mind, this is what we're talking about. Let me get back to our fundraiser now, because we don't have but a short period of time, and we want to speak about Abdul Malik. Abdul Malik is one that has and still is giving the Jummah service in our capital of the United States of America. He is one that has just coordinated an effort at the United Nations, and it was well attended, on a memorial or a commemoration of the great Muhammad Ali. Very successful. And he was the key speaker. He was coordinated as the key speaker. And every nation subscribed to the invitation. And it was something of magnificence to have them come out to give credibility to this man that helped in our society, to help get people's life back in order. You know Muhammad Ali. I know Muhammad Ali. Who doesn't know Muhammad Ali? Regardless of what he was going against, he was one that went against all odds and stayed the study course of submitting to his Lord, to God, regardless the odds. Whatever the odds are, you stick with God, you're going to win. But if you stick with those that you think that's going to get you to where you want to go, stay tuned. So when the Imam mentioned revitalization, and certainly after revitalization, what would you think would come next on our theme here? Imam Abdul Malik is speaking about community service.
Community service.
Imam?
Well, it's not enough just to teach it, but now you have to get out into the community and start interacting with people. All the prophets and messengers of God were roving messiahs. They didn't stay inside their house of worship, their temples, their mosques, their synagogues. They went out among the people and they shared the wealth that they had in a most wonderful way. They identified with those who didn't have. So that's one of the things that we really intend on doing. But also with that, we need everyone. We need Christians, Muslims, Jews. We need an interfaith collaboration, as the flyer says, because that's an obligation of every single one of us that has faith in our hearts. People need mental food. They need spiritual food. They need emotional food. They need everything that is needed in order for them to be good, solid, logical, sober human beings.
Yes.
And the evil force, that's one of their tricks. They always want to take the created human being out of his human form. So when you see the movies, very quickly, man, I just want to mention
take your time,
when
please.
you see the movies of the monsters and Frankenstein and Dracula, that's just not entertainment. That's telling you what they're doing to the human form in society. They turn people into Draculas, into Frankensteins, into monsters. So now we see a young kid, 13, 14, 15 years old, going to his house and killing everyone inside the family and not feeling anything. Why? Because the human sensitivities have been taken out and replaced with coldness. So these things are very important. We all have an obligation,
yes,
all people of faith, to go out and revitalize the thinking of people and then the physical infrastructure of inner cities.
Excellent, excellent. And Imam Abdul Malik, he has an organization that he's the president and CEO of. It's called New York City Family Inc.
Yes.
This is key. Family. Who's your family? We just passed this day that we recognize in America called Mother's Day. Mother, you know who mother is. You say that. Word to my what? You know what a mother is, right? Fact.
Right.
No? Word to what? So when you understand this life and you understand the significance of the sacred life of family, family is important. How do we know that? Because when young people decide they're tired of being in their initial family, mother, father, brother, sister, whatever, they want to get to a new family. The Crips, the Bloods, the Latin Kings, the gangs and others, right? They want to get to another family where they can have some sacred connection. But that family life is not a life that's going to be continuous. That family life into the life of gangs and things like that is short-lived. But you don't know that. And so we want to be able to help educate through the buildings that we have that we're going to be renovating by the end of Ramadan, which starts. Ramadan is going to start next week. By the end of Ramadan, 29 and 30 days, we want to be doing renovations during this time. And we pray. And we ask for your prayers. And we ask for your resources. Whatever you can contribute. Whatever $1 or $2 or whatever it may be, or someone you may know that can contribute, we want to help revitalize our communities because we have a sincere heart, like many of you have a sincere heart, to want to see things change. You would want to see our young men not sagging and double sagging and looking in a way that's not acceptable to us. You know that and I know that. They're following a lifestyle that's not consistent with the lifestyle that we would like for them to have. And it's a reason why they're doing this. And many times it's a legitimate reason that only maybe we, the Muslim community, can address them with. Certainly the Christian community can address it, others can address it, but when we can speak their language and share with them and concerns and importance and let them know you do not want to go to prison, you don't want to go to this other life that you're destined for, either a hospital or cemetery or prison, you don't want that. Because we know that life has been established in America for those under the 13th Amendment. And so we're looking for Imam Abdul Malik, and I'm sharing with you as the Imam shared with you, go to YouTube. Imam Abdul Malik, Abdul Malik, Malik. He speaks clear about thug life, gang life. He speaks clear about community life. But all the things that Abdul Malik is doing, he has an organization that's called New York City Family Inc. And it should be about family. Mother, father, sister, brother, uncle, daddy, grandmama. That's important for us. You know it, we know it, and we have to do something about it. And if we don't, it's a disgrace on us. So we're looking forward. We're excited about this opportunity that we have to be able to establish ourselves once again here in the Capital District of New York with our initial 2 buildings, and we're going to be doing much more as well too. And we're asking you to share with other people the importance of how you can get information to help change your life, our community's life, and those that's out there in the world that's not giving what's necessary to help us be recognized as a legitimate people. Imam, you mentioned the issue of interfaith, and you also mentioned about the revitalizing of our communities. And what about the issue of civic engagement, this political life and things of this nature that will help us get many people in office that have a concern to make sure the resources are going where they're supposed to be?
That's one of the ideals of the American society, is to get involved, voting, getting representatives into office that has our concerns in mind. Very, very important. We're going to be also taking those efforts, get people galvanized and coordinated so that we can start having information on where to go to vote, to get your assemblymen, your councilmen, your mayors. We should be able to have town meetings like they have in other communities, where we ask them questions. We have to hold them to the fact that if you say you're going to be a galvanizing force of positiveness in our communities, well, let us know. What is your agenda? That's very, very important, Imam. And
yes.
That's one of the things that we're definitely going to be on top of.
Excellent, excellent. So we recognize that this is a humanitarian effort. This is not a black effort. This is a humanitarian effort.
Exactly.
We're concerned about humanity. If humanity has good health care, if humanity has excellent education, the whole community and society and nation is going to build. It's going to be better. But when we begin to ostracize individuals because of their skin or because of their lack of education, then we're doing a disservice to the entire society, city, town, village, or whatever it may be. Everyone wants to have excellent health. Everyone wants to have good health. Everyone wants to have more education. Everyone wants to have a better education. And we should allow for this to be in our society like other countries that have this. And when we see the results of people having good health and good education, we see a better community, a better society, better family life, because everyone understands the importance of what is necessary for us to have in order to be a better contributor in our society. And the best way to do that is to have an educated people. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance.
Yes.
Ignorance is more expensive than education. You say you can't afford to send a child to school. Well, we better find a way to send our child to school, because if people stay ignorant, then you know, like I know, that person or people is going to be a detriment to society. It's going to be a liability to society. And so we're encouraging that the best and most essential education you can have is to understand what is it that the creator of the heavens and the earth wants for us. And we believe that the creator of the heavens and the earth We say Allah. Some say Jesus. Some say God. Some say Dios, the Creator. You can't argue with that. The one who made the earth, wind, and fire and water. The one that's made our body. You can't argue with that. The Creator, we believe, has a goal for us, and that goal is to reach our potential that He has put in us. The passion that He has for us. What is your passion? What is it that you love to do that you can do for free forever if you can do it? Everyone has something that's necessary to help another person in society. And so we're looking forward to helping those individuals that didn't get that chance to understand what their goal and their objective and their passion is, to help them identify that passion, identify that, and recognize what is essential and necessary for them to be a contributing factor to society rather than being a liability to society. And those that may think that they want to continue with the thug life, the only reason why they use this term thug is because in the word thug is the word hugs. You didn't get enough hugs in your life. You have to get more hugs from your mother and your daddy and your friends and relatives and everybody.
Well, I'll tell you, man, if they haven't gotten hugs from their family, we're going to be there to give them hugs.
That's right.
So don't even worry about that. Once we go out in the community, and we take, come on, brother, you need a hug. You look like you need a hug.
That's
Sister,
right.
hug one of the sisters over there.
That's right.
And we're going to be with you.
That's right.
You know, we're going to nurture you.
That's
mentally, spiritually. You know, our total effort is to bring this community up to pristine form of human and moral excellence.
Yes.
Well, let me just say this, Imam, very quickly. You hit upon a lot of beautiful points. Our youth don't have much knowledge and experience because they what, out of the womb 16, 17, 18 years ago, you don't get a lot of experience and knowledge by that time. So that's where we come in.
That's right.
We have to explain to them what differentiates you from an animal. Where you go around with guns and knives, like you're out in the jungle, just want to take people down and just go reckless and cause chaos. You have to understand a human being, which God created, like you said, if you want to call him Jesus or Dios or whatever, has to have compassion, has to have a sense of goodness, has to be merciful and forgiving.
Yes.
And it should be positive thinking. Our youth have to understand, if you don't think positive, you're thinking negative. Positive thinking rises you up from all of the chaos, all of the influences that try to take you down. But once you're thinking negative, that takes you down. There's very little hope of you ascending unless you get someone who can raise your thinking up. So that's part of our responsibility.
Yes.
Teach the youth. Be positive. The winds in scripture language represent the influences that go throughout our communities. Quiet influences that tell you, you ain't got to be good. You're talking about, you got to be goody, merciful. Man, you better be good, get hard and get your Glock and start shooting people down. See, but this is the influences that you feel but you don't see. And we had to let them know we're going to start getting these nice, positive influence back in our society.
That's right.
Where now when you talk about good, it's something that you love to hear. Being merciful, that's something you love to hear. Forgiveness, these are life-changing words.
Yes.
And this is something that we want to re-inculcate back in our community. If that's not done, there's no revitalization of any city, inner suburbs, or any other city throughout America.
Yes.
Very important.
Excellent.
That we get these values back.
Yes.
And the wins of our communities.
Excellent.
And inshallah, we will do it.
Yes, absolutely.
We're
You brought a couple of thoughts up, Imam, and we only have this a few minutes, and that's what happens. We get to the end of the show and things start to happen. But the main thing I want you to recognize and to identify with, and that is the fundraiser that we're having with Imam Abdul Malik. Please don't forget that. And if you need more information on that, you can call us at area code 518-915-3117. That's area code 518-915-3117. The Imam, he hit on the issue of the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. You have to prepare yourself in everything you do if you want to do it right. The 5 P's. He spoke about influences. In the word influence is the word in and flu. Flu is a virus. Flu is a sickness. Be careful what you allow to come into your ears. Be careful what you will allow people to say to you and you believe it wholeheartedly. You wind up being like a sucker. A sucker's like a fish. The fish only sees the worm. The fish don't see the hook, the line, and the sinker. If you become gullible and vulnerable and susceptible to everything you hear as being the law and being true, you may wind up in a place that you will regret.
That's right.
And you have to be mindful. It happens because of a moment's pleasure for a possible lifetime of misery. That moment's pleasure,
exactly.
You think you're grown, you're ready to have sex, you're ready to do all these other kind of things. The next thing you know, you have AIDS.
Yeah.
Herpes, ain't no cure yet. All these particular things that you are striving and eager and want to be involved in, be careful. Be very, very careful. And we're going to be sharing information with you that we believe is important and significant. And we're not trying to convert you to become Muslim. Be assured of that now. We're trying to assure you that we want you to get back to your natural state of mind. And your natural state of mind is being submissive to the natural order of things that the Creator has put in your nature. And what is that? Muslim. You say one who submits to do the will of the Creator. When you don't submit to do the will of the Creator, you're saying somebody else created you. And that's what you have to be careful of. It is called a seducer, this Satan, this devil that wants to influence you to do all as the Imam stated, the ugly, the nasty, the indecent, talking loud, all kind of words in front of anybody. And so Imam Abdul Malik, go to the YouTube. He has so many different topics on so many different subject matters, and he speaks in your language, in the language that you understand, in the language that you would appreciate. And so this is why we invited Imam Malik. He accepted the invitation, and we're looking forward to Siena College next Sunday, the 28th, for Iftar fundraiser. Iftar, in other words, the end of the day when we have to break fast. And you're all welcome to come. You must register, call, and when you get the flyer and you see the information, go online, go to the link, and if you want to donate, you can donate $1 through PayPal without a PayPal account. And you should be mindful and be conscious of supporting this particular effort because it's for humanity and not for just one person. And as always, our Imam, he gets the last word because he's the one that's been voted in office to recognize all the things that's necessary for us to identify. Imam, please.
Just like to say, as an inspiration for our listening audience to support this fundraiser, recommendation, get your children together one day. Go to YouTube, type in Abdul Malik, and then type in Thug Life. And I want you to listen to it together. If you have older children, you expect that maybe they're starting to deviate or go astray. Once they hear this tape together with you all, then you discuss it. And believe me, I think it'll start changing their mind. They'll hear something probably they've never heard before. Finally, you don't have to be a Muslim, Jew, or Christian. You may not have any faith or belief. But as long as you wish for something good for the community, for humanity at large, then support us. Hit the pay link. Come to the Siena College fundraiser. Give us your support. Give us your love. Give us everything that you can in order for us to be successful. And hopefully we're going to make a great change in this state and throughout all of America and hopefully the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Imam. Appreciate that. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.